If you knew morning wood, then you know why I feel blue. Without morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood, morning wood. Oh, how my heart yearns for you. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you, yes, I love you, morning wood. Morning wood, morning wood. Pretty, 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 pretty morning wood. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Oh, well, I love you and I need you, morning wood. I love you, morning wood, with a love so rare and true. Oh, morning, my morning wood. Well, I love you, I want you, morning wood.
Rise and shine. Happy Devils Wednesday. This is The Morning Woo. Coming live from an undisclosed office in beautiful New Jersey. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, X Live, Twitch, and now on Instagram Live on the Let's Go Devils Network. As we're talking Devils hockey right now, I know there's depression all over the place. Last night's debacle, losing 3-0 to the Columbus Blue Jackets at home. As the Devils' woes continue, happy Devils Wednesday to you, Wimpy, Jay Snow, Anthony LaPena, saying good morning. Hope you're having a decent time this week despite the horrible display against Columbus. What a disgrace. Roman says last night might have shown the worst effort they've shown at the home this season. So why on earth break up Grits, Lenny, and Glass? Maria, happy Devils Wednesday to you, saying Cookie Woo being up on the Jumbotron. Yeah, everybody was texting me pictures, and I was looking down, and I barely even saw myself on the Jumbotron. Sat in two sections yesterday. Club 18, all courtesy of American Whiskey, Frank the Tank, enjoying the amenities there, and also Studio Suite 22. I haven't sat in one of those studio suites ever, and it was freaking awesome. In section 22, Suite Studio 22. Moving around the rink yesterday, got to spend some time on the ice with the Generations of Dance. My friend Beth runs that organization. They had a kind of a team photo. They invited me, and I was a big giant cookie on the ice. Signed that waiver form, but I gotta tell you, I signed that waiver form not thinking anything of it, but since then, because the ushers were trying to get us, the security was trying to get us off the ice, and I'm wearing the cookie costume, taking my time, on the ice. I don't want to slip and fall. But the guy grabs my costume, grabs my left shoulder, and he grabbed me so hard that, my freaking left shoulder is killing me. So if AJ Visco, the law office of AJ Visco, can contact me, and I'll show you that waiver form that I signed, but it says nothing about security guard grabbing you hard. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think there's any malice. He just wanted me to get off the ice, but I'm walking slowly because I'm wearing a cookie costume with a goal light helmet, but my left arm is killing me this morning. Unbelievable. But that's the least of our concerns because Tom says this is on Fitz and the players and lack of leadership of the players. I think there's a lot of blame to go around. I think this entire organization, except for the frontline workers like the concession stands and the janitors and all that, although the cleanliness of the arena could be a lot better. No one's happy Devils Wednesday. Yeah, I know, but that's something I do for the show. What do you want me to say? Go jump off a bridge, Devils Wednesday. Does that sound better to you? Pete, anyway, I know. Not so happy Devils Wednesday. I get it. I was just fooling around. I hope no one shows up. Wimpy says, might as well watch figure skating. They score as many goals and show as much fight. Ha ha ha. NY Davey says, morning, Sam. I've been saying a while that speed advantage the team took advantage in the past has been destroyed. Sincerely, president of the 9-0 club. Yes, losing 9-0 both in 1986 against the New York Rangers in MSG and 9-0 to the New York Islanders this past year or past month at UBS Arena. NY Davey was there for both of them. 4 high-danger shots last night. Come on. Menelander, Sam Keefe has once again called out the team. He accused them of being mentally and physically soft. Where do we go from here? It almost sounds like he wants to be fired. I would want to be fired. I would want to be fired as well because this is a dumpster fire. All right, this is a dumpster fire because I believe, and again, take it for what it's worth, I've been saying all along, it's a culture problem that comes from top. I don't think anybody, Sheldon Keefe, Tom Fitzgerald, the players, they're not in the optimal position to succeed at all. At all. And there's no fight in this team. How do you lead? How do you start the season with fisticuffs and then all of a sudden it disappears? How do you just go 8-1 and then all of a sudden it just disappears? I get it. The team's mentally fragile. The team is physically fragile. The team is not confident right now. The season is slipping away. But didn't I tell you that you just got to bulldog through it? And they simply are not doing that. They're collecting paychecks at this point. The fans aren't happy. I'm not happy. I'm sure ownership to some level is not happy. But at the same time, the way ownership acts, it's like this is a drop in the bucket for them. They're not even concerned. Or are they? Wimpy says you should have stayed on the ice and played with your cookie outfit. More interesting than this current team. Sue everybody. Woo says Dag for Hansen. Yeah, my left shoulder is killing me. That guy grabbed me pretty hard. It's like, dude, you didn't have to grab me. Can you see that I'm waddling on the ice trying to make sure I don't fall? I know I was wearing a helmet, but still. This group sucks mentally and physically soft, says Jay Snow. Menelander was that in his post-game interview. Let's put it this way. Sheldon Keefe's post-game interview was very telling. And my buddy Matt Payton said it best. Sheldon Keefe is in self-preservation mode, okay? He knows the drill. He knows what's coming. And right now, he's taking the heat, and he's taking it like a man, up on doing these press conferences or these, post-game interviews. Basically, the team's not making enough plays. In the first period, they showed that they can hang with the Columbus Blue Jackets, but there was too few plays or sequences that they showed and not enough firepower to even score any goals. You can't blame Jacob Markstrom on this game. He did not get the help. There were mistakes made, and the Devils got shut out, laid an egg, 3-0 to the Columbus Blue Jackets, which a team that they were throwing the gloves and punching each other on December 1st. Where was the fight? Where was the fight in this team? It was nowhere to be found. It was nowhere to be found. Jay Snow says that security guard probably hits harder than any of the New Jersey Devils players. Yeah. Anthony says, sue for ownership of the Devils. Yeah, well, I'd sue them for $10 billion, but I'd settle out of court for a new GM and a new coach, and put in disciplinarians in. And this is nothing against Fitzy or Sheldon Keefe. It's just not working. It's just not working. And Wimpy is glad that Sheldon is speaking his mind. I don't think Sheldon Keefe's the problem. I think the organization is a problem. I think David Blitzer and Joshua Harris is a problem. They're a big problem. And they seem to always, get away with when fans say, oh, you're always saying the owners. You're always saying the owners. Yeah, they spent to the cap, but at the same time, like, they put their resources in the wrong places. And again, didn't I tell you that after that Sweep the Deck charity event, it's never good for the team the next few weeks? And they laid an egg. And the New York Islanders, who won yesterday in dramatic fashion, are coming in Thursday with Andre Palat, and guess what? They're going to kick your ass unless you do something about it. And the Devils have not done anything about it. They have not done anything about it. And I'm telling you right now that I think that Sheldon Keefe is going to be the scapegoat, is what Joey B says. I think Tom Fitzgerald is going to be the sacrificial lamb. And I think the fans need to sift through all the noise, a lot of noise, all the symptoms of what's going on, and direct all your energies on ownership, because they created this mess themselves. How? When they bought the team, the Devils had an identity. Lou Lamoriello, the 3 Stanley Cups, a track record. You had Scott Stevens that was with the organization, even Adam Oates. I know they did the coaching thing in the end there in the first year of the Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment. But they were looking at the Pittsburgh Penguins. The grass is greener on the other side, and they wanted to be the Penguins because that was modern, that was fresh. And what did the Penguins do? They tanked to get the first overall pick in Sidney Crosby and Marc-Andre Fleury, second overall pick with Evgeny Malkin and Jordan Stahl they got, and all that kind of stuff. And in order to pay for the arena, they used grandma's slot machine arm and gambling to pay for their new arena. So they wanted to be the Pittsburgh Penguins, to the point where they got Bo Bennett and Ben Lovejoy and Ray Shero and all this stuff. And guess what? You're trying to be somebody else, and now it burnt you, and it burnt you good. And this experiment needs to stop. It needs to stop today. It needs to stop now, because you are not the Pittsburgh Penguins. You are the New Jersey Devils. And with time remaining, talks of Brendan Shanahan. I even floated the idea of Lou Lamoriello. How about both of them? The identity of the past. I know Shanahan wasn't there for those cup years and all that, but he has championship experience. We can go with that. If you look Toronto Maple Leafs track record, I know they haven't won since '67, but Toronto Maple Leafs were in worse shape than the New Jersey Devils right now before Brendan Shanahan and Lou Lamoriello took over that team. All right? And say what you want, but Lou Lamoriello, the teams he built, has still done remarkably better than the New Jersey Devils under the Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment regime, which have won nothing. Zilch. Nada. And they've had their controversies. The 76ers, the Commanders. They've had their controversies. It's not a winning formula, the Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment. And again, I would love to help them, but they're simply not listening because they have their own ideas. They think they know more than you, the fans. The analytics thing is not working out, okay? You got to revamp that. You got to figure it out. Scouting, okay? There were a couple players here and there that you got. Okay, that's nice. But what about player development? Player development is awful. Awful, 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 and you're doing a disservice to the talented players that you're drafting. There is no farm system. There is no pipeline right now. You've got heavy contracts with no movement clauses. You're going to need to have that hard conversation and stop being so nice. You're going to have hard conversations with players because they're not performing, and this got to stop. And it's not the system, is what Sheldon Keefe says. And I believe him. I believe him. You know, they need to really also, on the hockey operations side of the business, focus. The Devils marketing team, as good as they are, I'll give them some credit. They're good at what they do, except for that jersey. Well, there's things that pet peeve, but it was a lot better than under Lou Lamoriello. But under Lou Lamoriello, he wanted zero distractions, and he took it to the extreme. I'll admit. But you see what happens when you have these distractions and you overhype these players? They start to believe they're hype, and then right now there's no accountability on this team. It's frustrating. Like, why aren't some of these players benched? Why? You know, I don't care if you're the Hughes brothers or Timo Meyer and all. You know, we saw what Dougie Hamilton, how he benefited by getting benched one game. Benching and making the tough decisions is a good thing. It's tough love. Everybody wants to be loved. But I have a lot of respect for those that make hard decisions because of the betterment of the team. And it's just a culture problem. It is a performance issue. And again, they're not in the right mindset. Talent is not the problem here. I'm going to tell you that right now. I believe these guys can do it. The problem is the foundation has been shaky from day one since Harris Blitzer Sports Entertainment, you know, first bought the team, thinking that they can just, you know, replicate the Pittsburgh Penguins model. Well, how's that working for you? Why can't we go back to Devils hockey? Why can't we go to tough defenses, great timely goaltending? How about Jersey-style hockey where you're in your face and you're not going to take anyone's crap? Instead, we got a Swiss cheese defense. We've got good amount of players, but everyone playing as individuals instead of playing as a team. Critical mass. The 6 players on the ice are the best players at that moment on your team. And you're only as good as your weakest link. And that's what Tom says. Love winning. I love winning too. I love winning. This is why I'm in it. I didn't get season tickets to just lose. No, I want to win. And it's not happening. It's gotten to the point where unfortunately, I hate to break the news to you, I think we haven't hit rock bottom yet. That's the problem. I don't think we've hit rock bottom yet. And let's stop not pointing fingers, you know, at just the players. You got to point fingers at everybody. And you got to come to a solution to this. And I just cannot stand this unacceptable effort each game. You know, I get it. The players, according to, and I believe Sheldon Keefe, that the players, you know, about the urgency, they know what they're at stake. Of course they do. But what I don't get is how they fold so quickly. They didn't get the first goal. Well, you know what? That tells you better get that next goal. And why are we not driving to the net? Are we afraid to get hurt? Are we afraid that we're going to cause a penalty? Drive to the net. Establish territorial positioning in front of the opposing goaltender. Tom has banned buying anything inside the stadium. Yeah, I mean, I actually didn't buy anything inside yesterday. But rock bottom. And it's going to get ugly. The Fire Fitzy chants came out. Other random chants came out. It's getting ugly very fast. And it is going to be a real interesting time on Thursday. What happens? What happens? And dare I say, I have to whip out the Mickey Mouse costume on Thursday. I cannot believe I have to bring that out from the closet because this team just sucks. The lack of effort, lack of attention to details, no punch at all. Dirk says, I get calls about every other week, new sales rep introducing themselves as a new rep. You know, again, I'd leave those folks alone. They're just doing their job. They're just a bunch of kids out of college trying to make a name for themselves. They at least have more fight than the New Jersey Devils. At least they're calling fans. I mean, can you imagine having a cold call list and calling fans about buying tickets right now? I give them a lot of credit doing that because they're doing the right thing by doing that, but at the same time, you're going to piss off the entire fan base as well. Wimpy's already bitter. Bitter. But, yeah. And you know what? If you're yelling and screaming in Section 1819, usually the families of ownership group is there. Hey, they should understand that's just part of the business. Let the fans scream what they want, because I'll tell you what, I'd rather be transparent how I feel than keep it inside. And Wimpy says I'd rather buy yellow snow. But all right, well, anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. I've talked enough about this team. Besides, I got to get to my next appointment. All right, well, we're gonna get out of here. Ceremonial sip, and yeah, we're gonna have Stay the Fan address tonight, presented by pucksandpitchforks.com. If you haven't gone there, go to pucksandpitchforks.com. The ceremonial sip to the fans that are about to face real rock bottom. But when will that happen? I don't know. But we'll see you tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I salute you, the fans that suffered from last night, with a ceremonial sip. Cheers. Heading out. Till next time, this is the Morning Woo. Let's go, Devils.
Oh, well, I love you. Yes, I love you more.